Good morning, Tamily. If any of you know me, you know I'm not a morning person. But um, today we have a very special Ask Tamily interview. It is our 90th Ask Tamily. And our guest today will be Laura. Her Instagram name is Tam, Laueffe. So definitely follow her if you aren't already. Connecting in just a moment. Good morning.
Ciao, Suzanne. Good morning. Good
I
afternoon.
realize it's afternoon where you are, yes. Thank you for joining us and thanks for being our 90th Ask Tamily interview.
Thank you for asking me to join you.
Absolutely. We're very glad to talk to you and glad that you are safe and healthy.
Yeah,
Uh, and we know, that this situation started affecting a lot of places, before others, but especially Italy versus, where I am in the United States. Now it's affecting us all. But we really appreciate your spirit and the information and things that you've been sharing and the connection with you as well.
thank you for caring. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I hope you're fine and safe and healthy as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I think I've been in my house since March 13th. So tomorrow will be a whole month. But
March 7th.
oh gosh. Yeah. And we have a ways to go, but obviously if we're doing what we should be doing, then we should all be okay. So, I do want to ask you some of our planned questions, and obviously, we'll check the chat for questions as well. So we'll
Ciao, Maria.
interval
I
that.
am Maria from Denmark.
People are already sending you hearts and kisses. Um, so everybody definitely has a lot of love for you, Laura, and we appreciate you being willing to be interviewed. So we'll go ahead and start with some of our planned questions and then we'll look in
Yeah.
the chat. The first one is, when and how did you start with the Tracy Anderson method?
Of course, I started in the most classic way. I discovered Tracy by reading an interview to Gwyneth Paltrow at the time of, second Iron Man movie. And yeah, I remember reading this interview to Gwyneth Paltrow where they asked her how she got in shape so quickly after her pregnancy. And then I just Googled Tracy Anderson, and I found and I first tried the webisode. I don't know if you remember that
Yeah.
video. Uh, she was working out with a lady and a man, and yeah, so that was the first Tracy Anderson video, and it was 2011, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then I went on with the metamorphosis, precision toning, continuity, and I actually stopped doing Tracy in 2015 when I was living in Paris. I was in Paris for my Erasmus exchange program,
okay.
and actually there was no reason for stopping Tracy, probably because I was living with a girl uh, who was trying, yoga workouts at home.
Mhm.
So we just tried to mix it up, and I ended up, with the desire to discover the rest of the, home fitness offer. And then I came back in 2017.
Okay. And did
Yeah.
you start streaming then?
Yeah, I started streaming in 2017, in December 2017. Yeah, after discovering Carolina Go Glow and Silvia, who is a Symbiotti.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so I've been streaming since then.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So all the way since the beginning, what would you say some of the results that you've seen are, like physical and non-physical?
I remember I've always been a sporty girl. I've always, I did volleyball. I was very good at swimming. They wanted me to do competitions, but but I I was afraid. I was scared of failing. So I was like, no, I have to study a lot. I can't, waste the time on swimming. And then I used to run marathons.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I've always been very sporty and active. My whole family, actually. But my some of the weakest points to tone up were the arms. And I remember that I was doing Tracy in my parents' living room, and that at a certain point, I was doing the arm section. I saw my reflection on a mirror at my parents' house, and I was like, are those my arms? Really? I couldn't believe how my arms looked so toned, because I never had such, toned up arms. It was amazing. And well, actually, I had a lot of issues with food and with my perception of my body. I suffered from anorexia and bulimia, so I don't like staring at myself on the mirror too much, and I don't use the how do you say? I don't weight myself.
Okay.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I just prefer to feel, healthy and to feel good in my own skin.
Yeah.
So I'm not checking on my weight. But yeah, I think that the most important result with Tracy was the mental one. But I continually get a lot of, compliments for my shape. Even people who have always known me for a lifetime, they say, oh, you have beautiful legs. Wow, your arm is so toned up. So they can see the difference. And probably I can't see the differences because, maybe I'm too hard with myself. But even my mother, who is very hard as well with me, she said, you now have a butt. This is a miracle. So Tracy is working
Definitely.
as well. But yeah, I think that the greatest change was mentally.
Absolutely.
I try to worry a little less and to be in peace with myself a
Yes.
little.
That's a great way to put it. Like, if we can all be at peace with ourselves, that's the biggest goal for sure.
Yeah.
We do have a question in the chat. It says, I'm also a former marathon runner and had the same problems. When you see photos of your legs from your running days and now, and your legs are so much leaner now, do you ever miss the running?
Well, it's not simple to answer that question because I started running when I was 14, and I used to go running before going to school. So I used to go running at 5 in the morning. Yeah. And it made me feel special because nobody was running at that time. And I started giving up running when it became a fashion. It became fashionable. Now I know a lot of people running, and so somehow I miss it because I was living in the countryside, and I was feeling in touch with nature. I could see the seasons changing, and so I missed that part. With Tracy, I don't have the opportunity to work out outside because now I'm living in the city center and I don't have a private garden, a backyard. So I missed that part. But I don't know. I think I'm doing a way more balanced workout right now.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a big difference for sure.
But somehow I miss the sense of freedom that it gave me.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I think that each time period in life has its yeah, it's special and different. Not something that is good for you when you're 14 or 20, maybe it's not good for you when you're 30 or 31.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I mean, if I want to go running here where I live now, I would have to run, on the road,
Mm-hmm.
close to the traffic. It's not good. It's not safe. It's not healthy. So,
Right.
yeah.
Who in the Tamily inspires you?
Oh my God, this is embarrassing because I am going to miss someone for sure. Okay, so I okay, I have to say I did a post about it last week. That Suri owns a special place in my heart because I feel that she's a sort of big sister for me, and but I mean, there is also Natalia, Rebecca, Hannah, and then I have my Italian family. So Veronica, Kelly, Giulia, Simona, Federica. I mean, this is very embarrassing. And then, of course, Muna, Loretta, our superstars, Carolina, and then, yeah, Giusy, Angela, Gaia, Marzia. I should have written a list.
You did a very good job, though.
Each one of them is inspiring me in a different way because the beauty of the family is that we are a bunch of very different and special people. Each one of us is special in a different way. So yeah, and I've been really so touched because when I started writing about what was happening here with the coronavirus last month, I really received a lot of messages in support, loving and caring messages, and it was amazing, really.
Well, it's definitely an amazing connected community, and I'm so thankful to have it, especially during a time like this. We were talking about that in the interview last week, that like it's great that we already have this because it's something that we need, when we're going through this kind of time.
Yeah, exactly. When I started doing streaming, my husband was very worried. Not only he was worried because he thought that I would have turned out our house into a gym because he's not a very, athletic man. And but he was also afraid that I could get like lonely somehow, and then when he discovered about the family, he was like, I can't believe it. Actually, yeah, you're working out in your living room on your own, but you're not alone. He had to admit that he was not right at the beginning. So, yeah.
We do have a couple more questions in the chat. JC Burke said, I love the videos of your husband before and during the lockdown. He's such a comedian. Have you ever convinced him to do the method?
I tried, but actually, I'm not sure that I would really love him to join me working out. You have to know that he's very challenging. I mean, he's like living with a kindergarten or full of children. No, he's not a very sporty man. I tried to tell him, let's try the beginner class. I'm not pretending him to jump into a chain, but let's. There is a video I posted, I think last summer. One morning, it was Sunday morning, we got up and he told me, okay, I'm working out with you this morning. And I was like, really? Yes, I'm not joking. I'm not kidding you. Okay, so I got everything set up. I have two, mats. So I have everything double. I was very excited, very happy. He arrived with his pajama in our living room. And I was like, are you going to work out in your pajama? I'm not following Tracy. I'm following the trainer sitting next to her. So he took note for 1 hour class. He was sitting next to me. I think it was maybe Anne Claire with Tracy during that class. And, he followed Anne Claire. So he took note, he wrote
Oh,
everything down, and that's how he joined me for the workout.
that is very
He's lazy, but he's smart.
he's funny.
Yeah, that's why I married him.
So we have a lot of comments in the chat. I want to make sure there's no questions.
But one of his brothers actually joined me for real. So yeah, we worked out in my parents-in-law living room,
Okay.
with a lot of precious, furniture stuff, and I was so afraid to kick something very expensive like the piano.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we worked out together, but he didn't let me record it because he was very ashamed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm trying to have him working out with me even now, but he's like, no, it's too hard. I'm not doing it another time.
That's funny. I
Yeah.
love when people realize what a difficult workout it is.
Yeah, I wanted to challenge him because he's a very sporty boy. He goes to the gym and he diets, so he pays a lot of attention to his body shape.
Mhm.
And he was, of course, he was making jokes about me and the workout. And you're doing a Cyndi Lauper workout? So I was like, okay, why don't we try one day? And you tell me if it's hard or if it's just a Cyndi Lauper workout. After 10 minutes into the arm section, he was like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I always tell people just hold your arms out for 30 seconds and then tell me you think it's not hard.
It was a big satisfaction.
Okay, we have tons of smiles in the chat, but I don't think there's any more questions in there right now. How do you get and stay motivated to work out on a regular basis?
It's a sort of addiction. I mean, it's I just need to work out. It's not hard for me. I mean, there are days, especially now during the lockdown, there are days when I'm not really motivated to work out. But then I think that we are really not moving, we're not going out, and that I need to work out for my health and even mind sanity. But actually, I just like to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not discipline, it's really passion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just should be a little bit more disciplined about the time. I mean, I told you that I used to go running at 5 in the morning, and it was it was a game changer because then I had the all day when I could do all the other things, school, studying, and now it's hard to get up early in the morning, especially because my husband likes to sleep a lot. So it's different when you live with someone else who has a different routine.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm working out in the evening.
Okay.
And yeah, but I would like to go back and working out early in the morning.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, but I really don't need to be motivated because I really like it. I mean, when I told you that I took a period of time to explore the home fitness offer beside Tracy, and I realized that I tried a lot of workouts, different workouts. I think I have tried almost everything out there in the market, but at that time it really took myself to be disciplined because I was not loving what I was doing.
Right.
And I was always afraid to to get hurt. Well, I've never got hurt or injured by doing Tracy, really. So
well, it also makes you aware of when you might start to have an injury or something because you just develop that awareness and balance in your body that you become more, in tune with what is imbalanced and where your weaknesses are.
Yeah. You know when you have to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Have you ever met Tracy?
No, unfortunately not. I was planning to go to New York with my mother in May, but I think we will have to wait probably next year. Yeah.
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 Oh gosh, we're gonna have to make lots of plans for 2021 after this year.
Yeah. So no, I've never met Tracy.
Have you ever been to a studio or?
Yes, I've been to Madrid.
Okay.
With Juicy, who planned the whole trip, and then I got to meet Marzia, Francesca, Angela. Oh God, I'm missing someone. And Carolina. We met Carolina. We didn't plan it. I wanted to. I wanted so badly to meet her. And I tried to reach her out on the Instagram, but she didn't saw my message. She didn't answer. And then we went to the studio early in the morning, and she was right in front of me. And I had, I usually wear these silly, I don't remember the name in English, like bands, like the one you're wearing.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was like a unicorn.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was working out behind Carolina, so it was very exciting. And but we didn't get to meet Magali because I think she was in America at that time.
Okay.
So yeah, and even Monica was with us. So yeah, we did an Italian family trip to Madrid.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
well, it was hard. The first lesson, it was hard, with the heating and humidity.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to survive to this.
Yeah. Do you use heat and humidity at home at all?
No, because I think that using heat and humidity in my house, well, it will get us problems, with how do you say, mold?
Yeah.
Yeah. And furthermore, I think it's a little bit a kind of waste of electricity. If you are in a studio, of course you always have lessons running, but but we have a very hot house.
Okay.
Yeah, so and furthermore, I live in the north of Italy, so it's the weather is very we have a lot of humidity, natural humidity.
Okay.
Yeah, in the summer I really see the difference in working out. Really.
Okay.
It feels like being in the studio. I usually switch the air conditioning off, so working out in Tracy's studio. So no, I don't use them.
What is your favorite thing about the method?
Well, the fact that I can work out whenever and wherever I want. The fact that it challenges my brain, my connections, and that I have to be very concentrated on what I'm doing, and the fact that even if I'm working out in my living room on my own, I feel part of something bigger. It's so beautiful, because there are days when I don't want to work out, but then I think, like, I open the Instagram, I scroll the Instagram, and I see, Loretta working out. So, okay, no, I have to get the workout done. I want to try being as graceful as Loretta when doing that, that move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We have a couple questions in the chat for you. Crescent City Tam says, do you find that you're processing deeper emotions doing the method during this strange time we're living in? And if so, does it happen while you're on the mat or after you finished your workout?
actually, when I work out, in these strange and sad times we're living, I disconnect my brain. So I just put my favorite music on and I try to let it go, because we're really, when we wake up in the morning and we are going to bed very late in the evening, and we are always connected to the broadcast news, so on television and also on social network, and because we are eager to get good news, positive news, but
Right.
unfortunately they're not always very good news and positive. So Tracy, I just switch the brain off while doing Tracy right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense, definitely. And it's good to have an outlet that we can do that, you know, for our mental health too.
Yeah, I naturally tend to overthink, and it's one of my biggest problem. And so yeah, thank God Tracy helps me to disconnect.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder, like, how much would be different in my life without that ability. Like, it,
Yeah, at the beginning of the lockdown here in Italy, I had a few, friends or people I know and that I am connected with through the social networks, who were desperate because they couldn't go to the gym. How I'm going to do? And I was like, it's not a problem for me.
right. Nothing's different there.
No, I'm already used.
We have another question from JC Burke, and I know a lot of people probably want to ask this. How is your family doing? We are all worried about your health and safety.
Well, my family is doing good. They're all healthy at the moment. We are a little bit more worried and concerned about, our jobs and economy, which is a luck at the moment. Um, but yeah, in the last few days, we got, two very bad news, because we lost two friends, family friends. One of them was not for coronavirus, but it's sad because this man died alone at hospital. So yeah, but my family is okay. Yeah, and I think that actually my husband and I, we are both in our 30s. We are more worried than our parents.
Hmm.
They're like, no, okay, so they're maybe because we still have our future to build, to, to work for, and so we don't know what to expect and what is going to happen. And yeah, but I'm worried because my father works abroad. He has always worked and lived abroad in more than 60 countries, different countries. Yeah, and he had to be in Bruxelles right now.
Okay.
And I'm worried because I don't think that we're going to, be free to go back traveling very soon.
Right.
So yeah, um, and yeah, so we are. I actually I can't even say that we are worried because we have to live in lockdown, so we can't do anything, and we don't know when the lockdown is going to finish. So we are like every feeling is like pausing somehow. It's so yeah, but we're good. We are healthy and we are eating a lot. Yeah.
Well, the health is definitely the most important thing. And, you know, we know we're going to get through it. Obviously, things are going to be really different, though. There'll be a lot of adjustments to make.
Yeah, hopefully they will be even better.
Mhm. Yeah.
But you know, but yeah, it's strange because we we don't find the right energy and concentration. We're not able even to read because we don't have the concentration. We are always, I don't know, we're always connected, because even because we have all our closest friends actually live abroad. So we are even worried and concerned about them.
Right, right. That's definitely, like, in a way you want to, you know, kind of disconnect, but especially when you're connecting to people that are very far away. That's the way that you
Yeah,
communicate.
you know, I mean, even if they're living like we have a friend living in Michigan for an MBA, and we have a friend living in France. I mean, civil countries, but you know, they're not their countries, and they're far away from home. And I often think about our Italian family members, such as Gaia, who is living, you know, far away from Italy and far away from her family. I think, you know, because we're not getting to see our families right now, even if we live in the same city, but it's different somehow.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you feel like you have a little more control
Yeah,
about knowing that they're safe and knowing what's happening around them.
even because you don't know when you will be able to get on a flight and, you know, go home and hug your family. So yeah,
absolutely. That's definitely tough. But it's good to know that at least, you know, you still have your health and are still connected. So let me see. We don't have any other questions in the chat right now. Let's see what we haven't answered yet. What do your family and friends think of the Tracy Anderson method?
That I am crazy. Now, actually, I have a friend of mine, one of my closest friend, the one who lives in France. She's an Italian teacher in France, and she follows me on this account dedicated to Tamily. And I tried to convince her doing Tracy Anderson, and I also borrowed her one of the first DVDs. But you know, it's strange because I borrowed her the DVD, and she has never told me anything. I think it's you know, like, it means that probably it's too hard for her and she doesn't want to offend me somehow. Maybe she had to confirm that I'm crazy by trying to work out. So yeah, she doesn't want to be rude. But no, of course my husband makes jokes of me when we go out. And but no, actually I think they also respect me somehow, because a lot of people tell me that they wouldn't be able to work out at home, to have the consistency and the discipline to work out at home. Yeah. So yeah, but probably most of them think I'm crazy. I think this is
fine. We're all a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Why is your workout important to you?
Because at the present moment, I think that I can say that the workout is the only thing that is making me feel really alive, and with a meaning, with an aim, really, because I'm not able to concentrate and to do anything. I'm not smart working. So yeah, it's a sort of weird holiday for me, but I'm not able to read all the books that I still have to read. You know, I usually don't have the time to read a lot, but so yeah, I think that I can say that Tracy Anderson method is what is making me feel still, you know, alive and healthy in this very strange time.
Absolutely. That's definitely a huge benefit of it.
And in normal times, it makes me, you know, process things I'm going through. So yeah, it's my religion. I hope I'm not bothering or offending anyone, but yeah, it's I keep it sacred, really. I'm really jealous. I'm not sharing with everyone, actually, my workout.
Yeah, It's
It,
interesting that you describe it that way because I feel the same way. I know sometimes like phrasing something like that might like offend some people, but it's that feeling, like what you get from it and the dedication to it and the passion and how important and like personal and spiritual it is.
yeah, it's precious, really.
Absolutely. Ange has a question in the chat. Do you think this method and community is helping you to feel more connected despite social distancing?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But not only during the lockdown, it's always making me feel very connected. You know, I had the chance to grow up in Nigeria, where I attended an American international school.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a kind of a shock to come back to Italy because I live in a city in the northeast of Italy, very close to Venice, which is not a huge city, but it's not that small, but it's very narrow-minded.
Hmm.
There's a very narrow-minded mentality. So I really missed before having the Tamily, you know, that international environment, that melting pot,
Uh-huh.
cultural melting pot.
Yeah.
So yeah, uh,
Hmm. That's very interesting. I think I saw you posted about growing up in Nigeria. That's so cool.
yeah, I would really love to go back to Nigeria.
That's very interesting. Um, let's see. We have another question from Alexandra. What's the first thing you will do once the lockdown or quarantine is over?
I
P.S. Love.
I'm not, I think I'm not going to be the one who can decide. I think that Luigi is going to decide for me, and we're definitely going to have a spritz in our piazza, in our square. We have three beautiful piazza in Padua where we usually chill and have um, we sit down and have spritz. I actually don't have spritz because I don't drink alcohol. I'm a very atypical because in my region, yeah, they go strong with alcohol. Yeah, so usually when I say that I don't drink alcohol here in my region, they tell me, "Are you sick? Have you got any illness? Why don't you drink?" Then they realize that I can be the one who drives them home safely after. So
Right.
yeah,
They're positive.
no, we are definitely going. I don't think that they're going to open bar and restaurants anytime soon, even
Right.
after the lockdown. They are talking about extending the lockdown until May the 3rd here in Italy,
Okay.
but I don't think that they're going to open in May bar and restaurants.
Right.
So if it would be possible, we are definitely going to go to Venice because we love Venice and it's just 20 minutes far away from where we live. So yeah,
That would be nice.
yeah. Yeah, but Luigi already told me I want to eat tramezzino. I want to eat this on this. So yeah, we have a to-do list to eat and to drink list. Very.
That's the most important thing, the eating and the drinking. um, what is your routine about the workout? Which one do you do, and do you do dance cardio?
I've always done attain from the very first moment.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, like I remember that in 2018, I often switched to fundamental because I think that 2018 has been the best streaming year, of course, since I do streaming. And there were a lot of fundamental classes, amazing, as amazing as attain. But now I'm definitely sticking to attain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm trying to, I have to say that I've never been um, able to stick to attain more than 4 times a week because I get bored very easily. But now during the lockdown, I am trying to be disciplined and to, beat myself up in order to repeat Attain 6 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm trying to add some dance cardio because I'm not moving at all because we're not allowed to go out. And I got in touch with the Trainer Connect because I feel very bloated and I can see that my thighs are a little bit bigger compared to last summer. But I don't think it's just because of the lockdown. I think it's something, that happened before the lockdown.
Okay.
And Stacy, I think it's Tracy Brown, answered me and she suggested me to add even the glute-centric bonus.
Okay.
At least, 4 times a week. So since I have plenty of time, I'm trying to be disciplined.
That's excellent.
But I usually do just Attain.
Okay.
And maybe do some dance cardio twice a week.
Okay.
But in place of Attain, I'm usually not doing Attain and dance cardio.
Okay. JC Burke has another question for you. She said, "We can't wait to see your new designs. Will you have a Corona collection?"
Corona collection. Okay, so actually, before the coronavirus, I was working as an Italian teacher in a private school. I was teaching to foreign students, and both because I love teaching. I studied, ancient Greek, ancient Latin. So I've always desired to become a teacher. But I was also teaching because I needed a little bit of money to face the outgoings because I'm trying to build an atelier. Actually, I have an atelier. I'm running an atelier. But, I'm just at the beginning, so I have a lot of outgoings. And I'm a little bit worried right now because I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know if people is going to be willing to buy, clothes and dresses and gowns, even because, we're not like, we don't have the fast fashion prices because we're trying to give a quality offer.
Right.
But I'm not Chanel or Gucci or Christian Dior, so sometimes it's hard to explain people that you don't have high prices because you want to be expensive, but just because you have outgoings, you have to pay the seamstress, you have to pay the fabrics and the bills, the monthly rent. So yeah. But of course I will try not to give up. Probably I will have to ask my parents to help me. But I would definitely try to insist. Yeah.
Well,
I'm thinking about something. I'm continuously checking on Pinterest. I'm building a digital mood board. Yeah. So, but we do not produce on a large scale. We just produce on demand.
Right.
Yeah, that's the philosophy, to slow down everything and to
we have another question in the chat from Ange. She said, "What time do you work out? Before Luigi's Pizza or after pizza?"
I'm not able to work out for 12 at least 12 hours after Luigi's Pizza. No, before the lockdown, I used to work out at noon. I used to come back from school, and I got my workout done, and then I usually went to the atelier without having lunch because I didn't have time, or just grabbing an apple or some salad. But now I'm working out at 6:30 in the evening because here in Italy, at 6 in the evening, there is like the press. They are giving us
Okay.
the numbers of the new cases. So yeah, I usually wait for the press conference at 6 in the evening, and then I work out.
Okay.
Yeah, but then there is always Luigi. So I'm hungry. I want to have dinner. How much are you working? Do you have to work out? And it's always 5 minutes, even if I've just got started and I'm doing
Right.
my 5 minutes, Luigi. Don't worry, I'm
Right.
coming.
Um, how did you discover the Tamily?
I discovered the Tamily through the Instagram because yeah, I told you that I discovered streaming thanks to Silvia Simbiotti and Carolina Goglo. And I remember that I first discovered about Carolina and Simbiotti because Tracy shared, I think, like the results, Carolina results on her account. And so, yeah, probably that's how I discovered the Tamily.
When was your first post to Instagram as part of the Tamily?
Okay, so at the beginning I was like, oh, I'm not going to have a Tamily account. I'm just going to follow some of them, but then I'm just sharing Padua views, Venezia views on Instagram. But then it was August 2018, and Luigi and I were in Russia at the time because we have to go often in Russian because of his job.
Okay.
Yeah, and his family owns a little flat there in Russian for where we have to go
Okay.
for their job, and we are in the middle of nowhere. Like the closest city is like 1 hour by car, riding very quickly. And I'm not used, here in Italy, everything is very close. Like I don't need to use a car. I really can reach anything just by bike or by bus. So we're not used to very huge distances. And yeah, we have this apartment in the middle of nowhere, close to the factory where they work. And I was like, okay, why don't I just get an account, an Instagram account for the Tamily? So it was August 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Um, let's see what I haven't asked you yet. Okay, well, we have to ask this question. What is your favorite pizza topping?
Okay, so you have to know that the only original pizza is margherita with no topping at all. If you go to Naples, where they invented pizza, you can have marinara, which is pizza without cheese, without mozzarella, or margherita. That's all. And my husband say that I am like a fundamentalist of pizza because he likes to put a lot of things on top of pizza. And I'm like, no, if you have to put so many things on pizza, on the top of pizza, that means that you're not a pizza lover. And so yeah, so I'm
That's funny.
margherita, just margherita.
What does he put on pizza?
Everything that is edible in the house, if you could put me on the top of pizza, probably.
Oh, that's funny.
No, you had yesterday he asked me, do you remember what was your first internet research, like on Google? And I was, of course, I don't remember. I don't even remember when was the first time that I used the internet. And I do remember. Okay, Luigi, tell me, what was your research? Wild mushrooms with polenta. Look for a site. So I was like, okay, I should have, guessed that it was concerning food. So yeah.
Yeah, of course. He's very funny. Um, let's see. I think we've answered most of these questions. Is there anything else important to you that you want the Tamily to know?
Well, something really important for me, beside Tamily and the method. Um, it's I'm very passionate about ancient Greek and ancient Latin language and culture. I love translating. I think it's translating from Latin and Greek is somehow, as effective as the method for your soul and your body. It's a complete exercise translating, and because it requires an effort that goes beyond the grammar, just knowing the grammar. You have to know the culture of, the civilization you are, um, language of which you are translating. And yeah, and then I've always been very, sort of, I had a struggle, because I've always had an interest, a passion for fashion, but there have been years when I wasn't like, I didn't have the courage to declare that I was fond in fashion, because I felt like, it felt superficial. And I felt that I had to demonstrate that I was smart, that I was studying hard. But now I'm trying to, to balance both the sides of,
Yeah.
yeah. So
You're so interesting. That's like, it's amazing. It's very, very interesting to learn more about you.
thank you.
We appreciate that so much. And, that's why, like, we want to do these interviews, is to know, like, just a little bit more than what we see, from Instagram and even from communicating with each other from Instagram. It's been awesome to talk to you.
Thank you.
We are reaching the end of the interview soon, and Instagram will cut us off without any notice at 1 hour. Um, so we want to thank you for being interviewed. And there is another question from JC Burke about Ask Tamily in the chat. So she says, a question for me. After almost 2 years of Ask Tamily, you have so much experience with virtual interviews. Are you coaching your colleagues and friends on how to do this? I'm happy to. Yeah, I didn't realize like this would go on forever, and it totally will, every weekend until the end of time. I can't believe we've had 90 in a row. And I didn't think about it really being 2 years until she said that. But yeah, we're really coming up on 2 years of Ask Tamily. So, I'm happy to get others involved. Although, like, I don't think of this as a skill. I think of this as something that's just fun for me. But yeah, we'll
Yeah, but
keep
we
it
really
going.
appreciate that, you spend your time. You could be doing anything else. So
Right, like sleeping. But this is like the most amazing thing to me, to be able to connect in this way. And we definitely want to keep it going forever and ever.
yeah.
And we certainly couldn't without Nicole. So I just need to acknowledge all the work Nicole does to make this happen, especially technically, because that is not where my skills are. But thank you again, Laura, so much for this interview. It's been so fun talking to you. And I want to request that after this is over and the lockdown is over and things are getting back to whatever our new way looks like, we want to interview you again.
Okay, thank you. It would be nice.
Absolutely. Yes. So keep us updated about what's happening. And
Okay, you don't have to insist too much, because sometimes I'm afraid that I'm oversharing, because I use my account. My account is private, so it's like a diary for me, a secret diary, where I can be myself and I can complain about everything and everyone in my life, because they're not going to read it. So, but sometimes I'm afraid, okay, maybe I'm oversharing. Maybe nobody, cares about what, or maybe, people has more serious problem. Yeah, maybe the only positive thing about all that is going on at the moment is that Um, I'm usually a very negative person and I overthink a lot. And probably it's helping me to, you know, mm, to see the things in a different way, from a different point of view,
Mhm.
and realizing that most of my problems are actually not real problems, maybe. They're just, all in my mind.
Right. Yeah, I think we all need to kind of learn that sometimes. But we don't consider you oversharing. If people think it's oversharing, they can move on.
Mm.
We want to know and
Oh,
be
thank you.
connected. Absolutely.
How
Well,
are you spending your Sunday now that we are?
um, well, I have a lot of work to do because I'm helping my company get through the coronavirus. And I've been working 7 days a week for 42 days. But today will be a little bit less work. So that's really good. And I plan to go eat breakfast with my husband first before I do any calls or anything for
Yeah,
today.
great plan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again, Laura, for being our 90th interview. We really appreciate you. And I hope that sometime not too far in the future, we'll have another interview with you.
Thank you very much. I really hope so.
Thank you. Have a great day.
And happy Easter for, people who,
Yes,
yeah, so,
absolutely.
yeah.
Happy Easter for everyone that celebrates and happy springtime.
Bye. Thank you
Bye.
very much. Grazie, Susan. Grazie. Bye.
Thank you.